Hi YouTube, this is Care Bear. I cannot believe how long it has been. I think I had mentioned in my last video that our son broke our camera, so we don't have a camera for me to do any video or anything, and I borrowed my mom's camera, and so I figured I'd quickly do a video. It might actually take a couple just so I can get you guys updated on what's going on, but so the last I had mentioned in a video was that I had my appointment with my surgeon on the 5th, and I went to the appointment, and it was actually with the nurse practitioner at the surgeon's office, and I was kind of wondering, what the whole drive there, the days prior to the appointment, I really didn't know what to expect, and so there was a part of me that was kind of worried I was going to go in, they were going to say, okay, what kind of procedure are you interested in? Okay, sign this piece of paper saying that that's what you want to do, and then we will go ahead and set up your next appointment. And and I was gonna, feel a little frustrated if I went in and that was all that was accomplished in the meeting. Fortunately, it was a lot of information, and it was a lot of really good dialogue between me and the nurse practitioner. And one of the first things that she had mentioned was that HealthNet is pretty notorious for putting up kind of a fight a little bit to offer approval, and for they require a 6-month waiting period. Now, I had printed out the form that HealthNet had pertaining to my certain coverage from their website, from the HealthNet website. I had done that months ago, and I had read over it, and I, based on that information, I knew I qualified. I was also given a copy at the seminar that I went to from the from Dr. Callery's office. Excuse me. From Dr. Callery's office. It was the same printout, but they had given me one as well, and I double-checked it, and it was, in fact, the same information. And by their guidelines, I did qualify. Excuse me. By their guidelines, I did qualify. And so I really felt very positive going in there. So when she said there was a 6-month waiting, a waiting period, like a 6-month documented, not a diet, but like a documented physician's, I had to have 6 months of documentation that I had gone in and visited with my surgeon for 6 months. So when she had said that, I was a little bit disappointed because I hadn't read anything about that, but I figured, well, you know what, 6 months is still, I had heard that it would take a year from the time I had made my first appointment with my, primary care physician. It would take a year until my surgery. So I figured, well, it had only been 3 months to that point. If it's going to be another 6 months, that would only be 9. So I was already 3 months ahead based on that original kind of time frame I had kind of given myself. So that was still okay. I was still all right with that. I was just a little surprised because I hadn't read that anywhere. Then she went on to tell me that my sleep apnea might not qualify me because the AHI number, or the number of times that I stopped breathing when I was sleeping per hour, was only, I think it was per hour. I can't remember if it was per minute or per hour, but anyway, mine was 17. So she said it might be borderline. They might not accept that because it was moderate sleep apnea and not severe. And I said, okay, well, my information here shows that it has to be more than 15. And so 17 is more than 15. By their guidelines, I think I should qualify, or I do qualify. So she looked over my paperwork, and she said, well, that's really great to know. We will go ahead and keep that. We'll go ahead and make sure that we do know, we document that information and that you do qualify. She said, but it's not severe. It's only you only have moderate. Well, I looked over the paperwork again, and nowhere did it say it had to be severe. It said it had to have an AHI of over 15 with the use of the CPAP machine, which I do have. So, I was kind of like, these were kind of the arguments that I was being given, and fortunately I had researched it enough that I was able to go off and check off and say, okay, well, this is where it says this. This doesn't, qualify for me based on the information I printed and you printed out for me. So then she said, well, it does have, you still have the 6-month waiting period, and I'll show you where it is. And she took the form, and she started flipping through it, and I was like, okay, I know I went over this with a fine-tooth comb, and I know nowhere in there did it say I had a 6-month waiting period. I know that. but I was a little, worried that she was going to point it out and I was going to feel really dumb because that was the one thing I had, looked over. And sure enough, she found it right, black and white. It said there's a 3-month waiting period or, a previous 2-year documented weight loss efforts by a physician or whatever. And I was so irritated with myself. And then I realized that that was actually under the section for adolescents ages 13 to 18. So that's why it didn't apply to me, and that's why I hadn't ever, I'd read it before, but I hadn't committed it to any sort of memory because I knew it didn't qualify for me. So when we looked at adults, I looked through it, we went through it line by line by line, and nowhere did it say any sort of a 6-month period. So I'm really, really, really hoping that that doesn't apply. So I actually spoke with my nurse practitioner. No, I'm sorry. I spoke with the insurance liaison, and she printed out a brand new, fresh printout from the Health Net website, and went over it with me and did verify that it didn't have any sort of a specified waiting period. It just said that I had to have documented physician visits, which they said I'm having anyway, as long as every month I have to go in and meet with them, which I plan to do anyway. That's part of the process, even if there isn't a waiting period. So I had asked the insurance liaison, I said, well, if there's no 6-month required waiting period, what can I kind of look for in terms of when might I get a surgery date? She said within probably about 3 months. So I'm still giving myself a 6-month period, so I'm saying between 3 and 6 months I should have a surgery date. So I'm really excited. She said that the 3 months is how long it's going to take for me to get everything done that I have to anyway. So regardless of whether or not there's a requirement for the insurance company, it's not going to be sooner than 3 months because I'm still going to have to do certain tests and get stuff done. So I left from the office needing these things. I have to, I had to get lab work done, including an H. pylori test, which is like for heartburn. I experience a lot of really gnarly heartburn. So that's a breath test that they can check to see if they have, and if it does, I think it's like a parasite or something that's inside of your system, and it can be killed with a antibiotic or something, and like cured immediately. So anyway, I have to have that done. I went in and had a lab done, but they didn't have the H. pylori breath test kit, so I have to go either to another lab to have it done. My doctor's office didn't have it, so I have to still get that one done. I went and had my EKG done with my doctor, who wrote up the prescription for my gallbladder ultrasound, and I had that on Friday. Tomorrow, which is tomorrow, the 18th, Monday the 18th, I have my first psych eval. Now, I don't know, the psychologist was thinking that it might take more than one visit. I had always assumed that it was just one, but maybe she has to say it might be up to 4, just in case it doesn't go really smoothly, kind of, erring on the side of caution kind of thing. So I have that on Monday. Then on Friday I have my women's exam. Ooh, so excited about that. And then, let me see, I'm sorry, I have my calendar right here. Yeah, so that's it for the rest of this month. Then I have to go and pick up my results and everything like that, and my next appointment will be on February 1st with the surgeon's office. So I will be able to do all that. And then, so that's really exciting for me that I've gotten, all of that stuff done. Just making sure I have everything. EKG, psych, yeah. So, and then I did a dietary education support group with my husband, and then we have to do a pre-op educational support group as well, and we weren't able to make it to this month because he was working that night, so we have to go in February, which is fine. They didn't have a specific time frame it had to be done in, so we'll do that. And then, so I'm hoping I will have a lot more information in February, on February 1st. So I'm really excited about that, and I just wanted to share everybody kind of, one of the things that I knew when I came to YouTube was that I wanted to know what people's exact experiences were with their insurance so that I could kind of know what to expect, because I really still don't have any idea what to expect, and I know everybody is different. I know everybody's history with their doctor and their insurance guidelines and everything is all different. In fact, my medical group that I belong to within HealthNet has different guidelines, so that may be why they're not requiring a 6-month. So my YouTube burp, I have to have one, right? So my group is the San Diego Physicians Medical Group is the group that I belong to. So if you're in a situation where you can request it, it seems like it's going to be a pretty easy crazy when the insurance liaison actually also notified me that that medical group really doesn't put up any sort of a fight in authorization, so it should go over pretty smoothly. So I just wanted to give you guys that update. I think I'm at about 10 minutes right now. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to go, and I will put up another video if I have more to talk about. All right, talk to you soon.